Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to my presentation. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Abdillah Mu'thi. I'm from English department at Universitas Pekalongan, and today I will tell you about the narrative text. Before we start, let me know what your favorite story about narrative text. Is that fable, cerita binatang, legend, legenda, folklore, cerita rakyat, fairy tale, dongeng, myths, mitos, and romance atau cerita romantis. Mine is fairy tale. What is a narrative text? Narrative text is a fictional stories that can take the form of fairy tales, folklore, myths, animals, and the others. Narrative text is also a text that tells a chronological story in the past. And here's the purpose, as you can see above me. There is 4 purposes of narrative text. First one is determine the promotion technique. Second, determine company strategy. Third, evaluate business statistics. Fourth, make plans for next year. There is 4 generic structure in narrative text. First is orientation, complication, resolution, and reorientation. Okay, now I will explain you about this 4 generic structure. Orientation is setting up the story in the form of introduction of characters, time, and places. Complication is conflict development. Resolution is conflict resolution. Reorientation is closing expression of a story or the ending, and it usually contains moral message. Okay, next let's us discuss about my favorite narrative text, and I will explain it to you. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and gentle princess named Snow White. She was loved by all for her beauty, grace, and compassion. However, her stepmother, the queen, was consumed by jealousy as she wanted to be the fairest in the land. The queen's jealousy turned into hatred, and she plotted to get rid of Snow White. She ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. The huntsman, moved by Snow White's innocence, could harm her and let her escape deep into the forest. Lost and frightened, Snow White stumbled upon a tiny cottage in the woods where 7 doves lived. They welcomed her with open arms, and she became like family to them. Meanwhile, the jealousy queen, deceived by a magic mirror, believed she was now the fairest in the land. One day, the queen discovered Snow White was alive and disguised herself as an old woman, offering a poisoned apple to Snow White. The doves arrived just in time to stop her, but Snow White had already taken a bite. Heartbroken, they placed her in a glass casket. However, fate intervened when a prince, enchanted by Snow White's beauty, came across her. His kiss broke the spell, and Snow White awakened. The queen's envy led to her downfall, while Snow White's kindness and resilience triumphed in the end. By Snow White's story, the story of Snow White teaches us the dangers of envy and the power of kindness. Envy can blind us and lead to destructive actions, but kindness and resilience can overcome even the darkest challenges, bringing joy and redemption. Okay guys, thank you for listening this narrative text. The next slide is the question. We will discuss about the question from number 1 to number 5. Okay, the first question is, what motivated the queen to harm Snow White? This question assesses the understanding of the queen's character and her motivations. The correct answer should mention the queen's jealousy and desire to be the fairest in the land, which led her to harm Snow White. Second, describe Snow White's reaction to discovering Dove's cottage. This question focuses on Snow White's emotions and action upon finding refuge in the Dove's cottage. The answer should mention her relief, gratitude, and eventual bond with the doves. Third, discuss the role of the prince in the resolution of the story. This question delves into the prince's significance in the story's resolution. The answer should highlight how the prince's kiss breaks the spell and leads to Snow White's awakening from the poison apple's effects. How did the huntsman's actions contribute to the development of the story's plot? This question assesses the reader's understanding of the huntsman's role in the story. The correct answer should mention how the huntsman's decision not to harm Snow White and instead let her escape into the forest initiates the main conflict of the story, leading to Snow White's encounter with the doves and the subsequent events that unfold. Fifth, what moral lesson can be learned from the Snow White story? This question encourages critical thinking about the story's themes and messages. The correct answer should address the dangers of envy, the power of kindness and resilience, and how these themes are portrayed through the characters' action and outcomes in the story.
Je t'attendrai sur le port et si tu m'ignores, je t'offrirai mon dernier souffle de vie dans my love story, dans my love story, dans my love story, my love story.
Alright guys, thank you for watching my presentation about narrative text, and I'm sorry if I have a lot of mistake in these videos. I hope you enjoyed it, and